Alright, going through the portal, going through the Stargate, once again. Greetings, fellow humans, fellow Earth Seeds. Skull Babylon, Brendan, doing, in specific, doing a video dream log right now. And I'll share a couple updates with you, of course, just about the Paradigm Shift project a little later on. But yeah, I wanted to be able to do a dream log. I actually intended to be able to do a dream log prior to going to sleep last night, because last night I decided that I was going to be working with Syrian Rue. And those of you who actually tuned into the most recent episode of Paradigm Shift, you would have heard that we were talking about Syrian Rue on the show as a natural herb, a natural dream herb that can help induce like more vivid recollection of your dreams. And of course, there's my button. And so I actually had Syrian Rue for quite a while, and this is just like a bag of it. And yeah, like it's from like the flower itself. I believe it's a flower, but the Syrian Rue is something you can just brew into a tea, and it's obviously, of course, all legal. It's completely legal. So I mean, if you got like a cup and you got like one of these strainer things, and just boil some water, put it in there, and then you just sort of let it settle for a bit. And the Syrian Rue is an MAOI, and it's an MAOI, so it's an inhibitor of the certain aspects of the brain that when they release chemicals, like natural chemicals, instead of the brain just sort of like flushing them through the system quicker, it sort of slows down that process and it allows things to sort of settle. And in this case, like those are talking, it's referring to the chemicals that often come up while we're dreaming, while we're sleeping. So because of that, it potentially helps evoke more dream recollection, as well as more vivid dreams, as well as more lucid dreams potentially. Now last night I didn't actually have lucid dreams, but I was able to remember. I did notice a difference, is what I'm saying. I was able to remember at least like 4 or 5 different aspects of my dreams last night, so I just wanted to be able to share some of it with you, even though like in terms of the esoteric symbolism behind it, I don't know, maybe just by me sharing it with you will help explain it. But again, like, if just prefacing, go back and listen to the most recent Paradigm Shift radio episode, and we talked about Syrian Rue within the last 15 minutes of the episode. And like I said, it's completely legal, so it's something that you can get, and you can try using for yourself. Now I will say is that in a sense, I'm like kind of, oops, dropped my pen. In a sense, I'm kind of hesitant about the idea of using Syrian Rue, only because like I like the idea of in terms of dreams being able to accomplish things like without assistance. You know, like if people were to say like, oh, like take this pill and you'll dream better. The thing that I'm hesitant about, but this is a part of the experiment, is the idea that, you know, for some people they'll start taking this pill and be like, oh my god, my dreams are so awesome. But then what happens when they stop taking that pill? Like, does that pill create a dependency? In this case, you know, Syrian Rue, like, is an external thing that's going to create a dependency. But part of what the experiment is for me is what's going to happen once I stop taking Syrian Rue. So I'm going to continue to use it for a bit, and I'm going to continue to see how I can use it as an ally, because that's really how I see it. These plants are meant to be used. They are meant to be worked with. So this is something that, as an ally of consciousness, I want to be able to see what myself and the Syrian Rue can accomplish together. So this is just like the first report log on the whole instance of me working with Syrian Rue. And just from the dreams that I remember, like even last night, I set the intention. So setting the intention, you know, I was just like, all right, you know, like I'm gonna remember my dreams tonight and everything. I even just like kind of like writing it down, writing things down ahead of time before going into a dream definitely does help. The dreams that I remember, they're kind of, again, it's like, you know, dream logic and stuff, so it's kind of like hard to even talk about some of it, but I'll try. I did remember one. It was kind of funny. The best way I can explain it, I was like babysitting a Lego person, And maybe that's because I saw the Lego movie not too long ago, but there's like a little Lego person, and I was like carrying them around with me, and I could remember seeing their facial expressions change. I like got down at a micro level, and I was like looking at them, and they had like slight like changes in their face and stuff. And for some reason, in my mind, I slightly associated that with like my new baby nephew, and whether it was like my brain was like seeing him as the Lego baby or something. Like, again, dream logic, it's so weird, but that's kind of what happened. And then I swear I was on like a campground or something, and then there was something to do with like a hot stove. I think as funny as it sounds, I think I like left the Lego person like on a stove, and I think it was hot, and I like sort of turned around one time and I was like, oh crap, like like I'm gonna melt the Lego babies. So I had to like move it, sort of thing. That's what happened. And then and that's kind of what I remember from that part of the dream. And then another part of the dream sort of transitioned, and it was kind of interesting. There's a part where I was like standing on a front lawn of someone's house, and there was other people, and then I turned, and there was like a person dancing with another person through the window. And then I was watching them, like myself and other people were watching them. It was kind of like a performance. But then it turned out that one of the people was real, but the other person was just a shadow. And they like, or like a hologram, and they like disappeared. And then we were like, ooh, like that was cool. And then another shadow like came up out of the ground on the front yard of the house, and it was like this like dancing shadow of like kind of like a ballerina, but a shadow ballerina kind of thing. So what does that mean? I don't know, but again, that's just kind of like stuff that happens. I mean, that's the thing with dreams, like they're really interesting because, I mean, opposed to just saying like, oh, with dreams you're like going to specific places in the astral, yes and no. I mean, when you sort of get into like more of the conscious astral projection of things, I think there are specific places within the dream dimensions that you can go to that are consistent, that more than one person could arrive at, so to speak. Whereas in most cases, when you're sort of just like walking through the dream space, it's kind of like you're inside of your own holodeck bubble, sort of thing, or you have like your own like visor of like a virtual reality sort of thing on. So you're like walking around, you're just like, whoa, this is cool, but like no one else is really seeing what you're seeing. Like it's your holodeck, it's your holo bubble, and then you're just sort of like playing around in this like centric space. So I mean, because of that, like a lot of the stuff that comes up in your dreams, it is a reflection of something within your subconscious, like out of all the data and the information that's being processed. Some of it is like just sort of like bubbling to the surface, and then it's amazing when you think about it how whatever it is that comes up is able to represent and interpret itself through some sort of symbolic representation. It's very art-like in a sense. And I mean, in that sense, you look at art and you look at artists, like what are they doing? It's almost like reverse engineering dreams when you think about it. They'll have something in their imagination and they'll crystallize it in. And then in dreams, it's kind of like pulling something out, and then like it's the same but it's different. So yeah, just stuff to think about. Again, like dreams are very valuable because the more we can sort of start to realize what's happening in our dreams, the more we can start to see consistent themes, the more one thing that came up in the Paradigm Shift Radio episode that I think is really key is being able to observe, like, where does our moral compass lie within our dreams? Because I think that still says a lot. We still seem to be very much ourself within our dreams in terms of the choices we make. So sometimes we'll be in a dream and we'll make like really weird choices, and then we might wake up and be like, like that was weird, like why did I do that? Like that doesn't make me feel super comfortable. But then it makes you reflect to say like, like why am I not happy with the choice that I made? And then sometimes we'll make like very like heroic choices within our dreams, to be like, wow, you know, like that was me, like I made that choice, like I helped that person, or whatever it is that you did. So I mean, you see aspects of yourself, you see parts of like the hero or the villain come to the surface within the dream, which is again very, very interesting, because the dream, it's a reflection of the soul. It's like, you know, we say this sometimes about psychedelics too. It's like a magnifying glass into the subconscious sort of thing. So, moving along here, yeah, and then there's another part in the dream where there's like a dog and stuff like that. I know there's other stuff, but I can't fully remember. One thing though with dreams though, you know, when you wake up, oftentimes we'll wake up, and sometimes we'll be like, do I remember anything? Damn it, I don't remember anything. And then we'll just like get up and go along with our day. Try not to do that. Try literally, if you got the opportunity, obviously have pen and paper next to your bed, but just lay in bed just for like an extra minute. Try not to move around too much, like physically try not to move around. Just bring your energy like inside, and just give it another minute or so to let the memory come up to the surface, and you will remember. It's more likely that you will be able to remember. And then and again with dreams, you know, like you sort of, it's like it's like a lightning bolt sort of thing. Like once it sort of like clicks into something, you're like, oh, now I remember. And it's like, there's this story, like now I clearly remember what happened sort of thing, or at least, you know, in fragments and in fractals sort of thing. So, yeah, just give it that extra moment when you wake up to be able to remember your dreams. Don't get up right away. Don't dismiss the fact that just because you can't remember as soon as you wake up doesn't mean that they're gone. Like, give it a second to retrieve it. It's like you gotta like cast the fishing rod into like the memories. And I'll talk more about the memories of dreams. That's a very interesting thing in itself. So then in terms of order, another part, even though I wrote it down backwards, another part that I woke up at around like 6:30 or 7 a.m. and then I just kind of walked around for a little bit, got some water, and then I went back to sleep. And again, you can do this often with dreams. The idea that if you wake up, whether it be at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. or whatever, try to sort of like wake yourself up a little bit and then go back to sleep, with the idea that you're bringing more awareness back into the dream with you, with the intention of possibly becoming lucid, either in the transition or waking up within the state itself. But when I went back to sleep, one of the dreams that I had is really interesting. It was very like Lord of the Rings like. It is what it felt like, and or very Lord of the Rings and very Skyrim like. And Skyrim, obviously a video game, kind of like medieval themed and stuff. And I was like inside of this village, and it was kind of weird. And there was like a quest that I had, and I also had like, it's hard, like I can't, it's hard to even process what the heck happened. But like I was like fighting an evil witch at one point, but then at another time I was like trying to like accomplish an objective where there were like other people who I was trying to find within a town who were also wizards sort of thing. And they had like blue to them. I think they had blue hair. All of them had blue hair. And sometimes they were good, but sometimes they were bad. And it depended on like how I affected the mission. Like I think I did the mission numerous times, and it was in like one area over and over again. And I remember being able to do like spell casting and stuff. And yeah, and then I remember like being able to I remember like fighting like this witch at one point, and I remember like picking up sticks and trying to like hit her with them or throw them as spears, because she was trying to attack me, and I was defending myself, you know, kind of like a video game or whatever. And then another part, I remember I became like allies with these other wizards, another part. And then as weird as this is, I remember we sort of, once we figured something out, we sort of decided to work together, and we like went into this like building within the village, and it was kind of like a church or something, but there was a lot of people in there, and we had like spell casting abilities, and they were sort of like paralyzing ice spells or something. And then I'm pretty sure we were like using them on the people like inside the church. So whatever that means, like, I don't know. I think maybe we were just like looting their gear or something like that. Whether or not it was like too personal, the fact that they were like people inside a church, I don't know. But it was just something that happened, and what does that say? I don't know. But I mean, maybe I'm not even describing it right. I don't know. But something along those lines happened. And then after that, it was sort of weird. It sort of became almost like I was like watching a TV episode or something. And then the people who I made an alliance with, I just remember them in a scene where they were like going down a river on a log, and maybe I was there with them. Maybe I was like watching it. It's hard to say, but they were like traveling down a river on a log, and they were like just like going along their journey, and they were like different. They had like evolved themselves in some way or another. Yeah, again, like it's, you know, it's fragments in terms of trying to remember stuff. Then there's some other stuff that I remember related to like race car driving, which is like part of another documentary that I'm working on as well. There was something to that, but I can't super remember. Then there was another thing where so, you know, this is like 4 or 5 dreams within a night. So the Syrian Rue did make a difference for me, in terms of, I was definitely able to remember more, it seemed. So the other dream, the last part of what I'm going to tell you, there's this house that I went to, and it was kind of like going through like MTV Cribs, and there was like this guy like showing me through his house, and he was like showing me all this stuff. But it was a house that I had been to before, way back in the day, where it was like a friend's house. So I went with another guy, and he took me to this house. And within my dream, it was kind of like I set it up. Before I even got in the house, I was like, oh, is this the house that I've already been to before? And then I'm like, oh yeah, it definitely is. And then it sort of became it, but it was different from the last time I was there. And he was like showing me all this stuff to it. It was like completely different in a lot of ways, even though for myself, I was just like, oh, this is clearly the exact same house. But he was like showing me different parts of his room, or like different rooms. And they had like Lego set up in them and stuff. So again, like this Lego theme seemed to come up. Maybe I should go see the Lego movie again or something. I recommend going and see it. Obviously, it's a great movie. And then yeah, there was like Lego in the room, and he was like turning on these lights, and he was like, yeah, this is like my workspace, and there was like Lego and like lights and everything. And then we like went into this one area, and it was almost like a stage. It was like this big open area, and it was underground, and there was like a stage and stuff. And there was like mats. There was like gym mats, like foam mats and sort of things. So and then I was talking to him, and I was like, oh yeah, man, like I've been here before, sort of thing. And be like, but you might not remember me, sort of. And then that's kind of it. That's kind of all that happened. And then I sort of woke up slightly after that. Yeah. Just double checking. Yeah. So that's what I remember from my dreams, and the reason why I'm sharing this is also just to be a part of my own practice of being able to recall dreams. How even myself being able to verbalize them almost crystallizes them a little bit more. I'm just like, oh yeah, now, you know, I can remember that dream now because I've actually like shared it like a story, where there's writing them down is obviously kind of a similar function in itself. So I mean, I hope this video, obviously for people watching it, it helps inspire other people to be able to continue to be involved with their dream recollection and their dream involvement and working towards lucidity, regardless of whether or not they have Syrian Rue. So again, I'm gonna use the Syrian Rue again. I will do that, and ideally the goal is that through working with Syrian Rue as an ally, I'll be able to like tap into lucidity and really be able to pull something from the astral, something that maybe will be like a message for more than just myself. It'll be something that will be of value to all of us, and in some way or another. And I've had similar dreams like that in the past before, so I want to be able to use the Syrian Rue and to use my own willpower to be able to make the most of the opportunity. And then, like I said, eventually, once I decide to, I'll stop using Syrian Rue. Like maybe I'll go through like phases or whatever and everything like that. But that's kind of what I'm just experimenting with. And like I said, Syrian Rue is completely legal, and if you're looking for it, there's probably places you can order it online, but you can also, it's recommended if you go to like a Middle Eastern market, it's likely that they might have some there that you can actually find and use, because they use it for multiple things. And yeah, try checking it out and then try making it into a tea if that's something that you're interested in doing. And yeah, that's kind of mostly what I wanted to share in terms of the dream stuff. And again, just encouraging and reminding people to get involved with the dreams. Like, why? Because as a cosmic citizen of the universe, I think there is a lot of value in us being able to pay more attention to our dreams, because the more we can learn within our dreams, the more we sort of accelerate our growth towards becoming more of who we are, towards understanding ourselves and understanding what we're doing in the dream realm. I've said this before. If you're awake during the day and you're asleep during your sleep, then you're only learning for like 50% of the time that you're here. I mean, this is a classroom. This school, this life is a classroom. And if you're learning within both the waking state and the dream state, then you're going to be able to excel. You're going to be able to continue to like move throughout the grades, move throughout the levels, pass the tests that are presented with you. So as a student of the universe, it's important that we're taking notes. It's important that we are paying attention to the teacher, to the experiences that are coming our way. At least that's how I feel about it. So again, I encourage and invite people to do that. Just in terms of other news, other paradigm shift community news, recently the other day I set up the link for the paradigm shift t-shirts. You can check that out at teespring.com/paradigm shift, or just go to paradigmshiftcentral.com/shirts and you can find it there. And just kind of, this is like the first draft of it. It's kind of an experiment. We got a cool red shirt and it says choose to be the change you wish to see in the world. And we'll be having more designs later on, sort of thing. But the goal with this is that we have to sell 13 in order to get them shipped out. That's like the way how this sort of campaign kind of works. So we'll see how that works. We'll see how that goes. I think that's pretty exciting. In terms of other news, you can tune in for the global meditation this Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So that is opposed to Eastern Standard Time, because now we're in Daylight Savings Time. So double check with that. Yeah, and then tune in for that on this Saturday. And we're doing that, of course, in conjunction with the globalmeditation.com, or is it .net? One or the other. There's a meditation Facebook page group, so you can check that out. And we did it last month and it was super awesome, so we're going to do it again. The idea is that we're doing it on the full moon. And then shout out to other paradigm shift community admins, and in specific Kevin, who is launching Paradigm Shift Holland. So that's a new paradigm shift community that is emerging. And also Paradigm Shift Adelaide, which is in Australia, and Rachel is creating that. So there's a lot of momentum still being created within the paradigm shift community. So thank you to everybody for being a part of that. Thank you for watching this video, and I wish you all the best on your continued success with your dream practice and your dream recollection. And of course, just in terms of dreaming and themes of dreaming, be sure to, if you can, support the Journey to Lucidity movie when you can. And that is obviously going to be happening very soon. And that's the type of, through that video, we'll be able to create a medium that we can share to get more people interested in lucid dreaming. The movie will be about lucid dreaming. It'll be about a lot of things as well. So yeah, just looking forward to that. Thank you, of course, everybody, for your support. There's probably other stuff, but we'll talk about it again some other time. So we'll leave it at, oh, and of course, if you have videos, submit videos to the Paradigm Shift Central newsletter. Maybe if they're even just dream recall videos, anything that you want to talk about. What are you passionate about? What are you interested in talking about? Maybe you have some thoughts on your mind. So record a video through your webcam. If you have QuickTime Player, use QuickTime Player, and then go to File, Record New Movie, upload that to YouTube. Very easy. Submit that to Paradigm Shift Central through the Facebook page, and then we'll include it in the new newsletter that will be releasing potentially weekly, that we'll be doing. So definitely get in sync with that, and looking for more people to be able to submit content for that. And of course, sign up for the newsletter at paradigmshiftcentral.com/newsletter and check out the previous newsletter from last week and the content in that. So that's pretty much everything, I think. So I'm gonna get on with my day, and if you ever have any questions, feel free to message me, facebook.com/skullbabylon. And yeah, I wish you all the best with your continued dream exploration and success. So, you know, write down your dreams. As for myself, now that I sort of have the Syrian Rue on my side, I'm going to be paying more attention, going to be putting more attention towards doing reality checks during the day, you know, like things like pulling the finger, jumping up, checking reality, checking the material, physicality of my surroundings, things like that, because my goal is to bring lucidity into my dreams, to trigger myself to check if the dreams are a dream. That's another thing, you know, it's amazing how easily we are convinced within our dreams that they're real. There's like, oh yeah, this is obviously just like how it is. And when I was going to talk about the memory of dreams, that's the thing, you know, like I think we have like our we have our memory when we're here, when we're in this waking state, and then there's like memories of our dream state that are here, and then like connecting them, they're like two clouds, and then connecting them is like this thin little golden strand, and it's very fragile. And our goal is to be able to, like, you know, through meditation, through mindfulness, to like be able to like find the frequency that connects the two, to be able to like transmit data back and forth. And like this is equally as much our memory as the dream cloud is equally as much of our memory, and it's always going to be there, but sometimes it just sort of like disconnects itself. And just because we can't remember something within a dream doesn't mean that it's gone forever. Because if we can like find the frequency to reconnect that golden strand, then we can be in both cloud memories at the same time. And yeah, definitely exciting stuff there. So again, write down your dreams, do reality checks, practice your meditation. If you're choosing to work with Syrian Rue, that is your free will to do so. And of course, just have fun, enjoy, be smart. And consistency is a very important thing. So we'll leave it at that for now. And yeah, stay tuned for more dream exploration updates as I continue to experience and explore the space for myself. So wishing you all the best. The infinity within me sees and honors the infinity within you. Until next time, this is Skull Babylon. See you in the future. Peace out. One love.